Throwdown might be the most anticipated game of the round. We have Southeast Melbourne Phoenix up against Melbourne United. You can see here, head-to-head, Melbourne United still the team to beat, even though Southeast Melbourne are coming off that dominant performance against the Kings. For my same-game multi, I've gone triples with Ben Eyre. He's sitting second in the league for his three-point percentage at the moment. Ian Clark, he had those 6 attempts in his game against Brisbane last week. And Chris Goulding, well, we don't need to worry about him. He's an absolute lock for this. I'm excited for the Victorian derby. Enjoy the hoops.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Hello and welcome to John Cain Arena. Not a spare seat in the house for a top of the table clash.
Mitch Creek, he is Mr. Everything right now.
He was ready to go. You can tell he's going to have a big one today.
Goulding fires the triple. It's Goulding time.
Chris Goulding is going ballistic.
You can hardly hear yourself think the racket that's going on with this sellout crowd. Good battle between the bigs here.
He's amped too.
Can't get this guy to open looks.
That's tough. That's tough.
Goulding, red numbers on the shot clock. Oh, it's Chris Goulding.
Christmas has come early because we are in for a treat. Arch rivals, table-topping teams and stars who are in some serious form. All the ingredients for an epic throwdown. It's first against third as United take on Phoenix at John Cain Arena. So will Melbourne make it 4 in a row in these battles, or will Southeast Melbourne make a big statement at their home game? This could be a season-defining clash. Hello and welcome to Hungry Jack's NBL tip-off on Narrowly Meadows. Great to have your company alongside me tonight, Peter Hooley. Pete, you've said that this one is a revenge game. Tell me more.
I mean, it's the rivalry, it's the throwdown, there's bad blood, but you can forget all of that when it comes to being a revenge game because of what happened last time. A shorthanded Melbourne United, the Phoenix just couldn't afford to lose that game. Not so much the fact they lost, it's the way they lost, and to be honest, they've got to come out and throw a punch. You've got to come out and throw it at Melbourne United and try and get some sort of revenge, because now they're the ones who are short-handed, so the odds are against them, and that's what a throwdown's for.
Some big battles tonight, and the biggest battle is of the big men. Joe Luau-Lachul up against Alan Williams, coming off a big performance, and round 7 with one to watch between these two. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, I'm expecting Alan Williams to do his best to try and stay out of foul trouble. That's what he's going to have to do, because what happens here, he has no issues on the offensive end. We know when he gets the ball close enough, he's going to finish. He's a beast on the rebounds, there's no doubt about that. But right here was an issue. Anytime JLA caught the ball outside of the keyway, it was either going to be a layup or a foul, and then he ended up sitting down with the 5 fouls. So he circled this matchup. He wants his revenge against JLA. JLA wants to continue his dominance. Have a look here. That was a massive game. That's the JLA we've come to know and love. I'm looking forward to seeing how Big Sauce bounces back.
That foul trouble is the concern, though. How does he make sure he stays on court?
They would have watched a lot of film, no doubt, Mike Kelly. It's going to have to be the rest of this team, because if you're Dean Bickham and you're doing the same thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Put JLA around the free throw line, let him put the ball on the floor. So whether that's guards coming in and having a dig, problem is if you dig off a guy like Chris Goulding, it's going to hurt you.
Williams is fired up. The Phoenix have lost 7 of the last 9 throwdowns. How do they rectify that tonight?
I want to be able to get the ball in more advantageous positions for myself. So whether that's the mid post or whether that's on the block, especially, and trying to get deeper post position rather than catching it out on the wing and trying to make a play over that length. It's very difficult to do, especially with JLA's timing, the way he's able to block shots. He's very good at that. And so I think we're going to get better looks if I'm catching the ball closer, Creaky's catching the ball closer, and we're doing some more dynamic ball screens, getting him a little bit out of position and trying to open the floor up and space it out for everybody else.
You mentioned the name Mitch Creek there. Mitch Creek and Chris Goulding, 2 of the best Aussie players going around in the NBL, both in MVP form. That man, 4 games in a row of 20-plus points and 7 threes up against Brisbane.
The way you look at his numbers in NBL24, it's incredible. He's aging like a fine wine, and this is some of the most efficient that he's shot, and the way that he's doing it with the amount of attempts is just absurd. And to be honest, there might only be one guy who can stop Chris Goulding right now, and that's himself. You've kind of just got to contest and pray that he misses, because right now he's not missing a whole lot, and they're down some key guys, so it's going to be hard to see how they go and try and defend him. Just hope he comes out a little flat. Don't poke the bear, but have a look here. The 3-point attempts in the 40-minute era. Absurd numbers. Double-figure attempts, 43%. It's ridiculous.
He's taking more threes than ever before, and he's shooting at 43%. Speaking to Mike Kelly a little earlier, he said that Matt Kenyon will get the job trying to stop those audacious threes from CG43. But as you mentioned, Mitch Creek also firing 33 points on the road up against the reigning champ Sydney. Can he bring it tonight?
Well, he's going to have to. The difference is if Chris Golding scores in single figures, Melbourne United can still win with their depth. They're short-handed. Will Cummings is no longer. Craig Moller's injured. Mitch Creek has to have a big game if the Phoenix want to win. Everyone else has to chip in. He does like to rise for these moments. We'll see what happens. He probably thinks he has an advantageous matchup, but I'm looking forward to it because we remember what happened a few years ago on this floor.
Everyone remembers that big dunk of Mitch Creek over former NBA player Matthew Dellavedova. This one is going to be so much fun. And speaking of big game players, it's time now to head to former Phoenix gun Ryan Brockhoff alongside Lee Montagna.
Thank you, Nerily. You're right. Man sitting alongside me knows all about playing in these throwdowns. He's excited. We're excited. What would the players be feeling? What is the feeling like between these two teams?
I mean, listen to the crowd. They're ready. They're excited. It's going to be a huge game. Big test for the Phoenix. Coming off a huge win against Sydney. This is the ultimate test. So Melbourne United at full strength. Let's see what Phoenix have to offer tonight.
Round 11, Thursday night hoops. How good is this, John Cain Arena? Then we get underway. It'll be United, Joe Luala-Chul, Dellavedova, Luke Travers, Golding and Shea Ili in the starting lineup. And for the South East Melbourne, Matt Kenyon, Ben Eyre continues his spot in the starting lineup as Golding continues his red-hot form. We'll keep an eye on him throughout this game. Gary Brown, Alan Williams and Mitch Creek.
Just a wonderful first offensive possession there for United. Obviously, everyone's chasing Chris Golding over screens, trying to take away the three and just open up. Part of the season, got a nice, easy one to start with.
Well, we'll get into the heater that he's been on over the last 6 weeks throughout this quarter as Big Sauce has a couple of cracks at it.
They did exactly what he said on overtime. Get the catches close to the rim. Just couldn't finish.
And another big night. It might be for Luke Travers, who gets off to a good start. Cavs GM in the house, Mike Gansey. Just keeping an eye on
just
the
add
talent.
a little bit of nerves to an already big game because this is the matchup right here. Mitch Creek needs to have a big one for the Phoenix, and Luke Travers is going to have his hands full.
Here's Brown. Can't get that to fall. And the matchup you wanted to touch on, Rowdy, Matt Kenyon can have the job on Chris Golding.
Yeah, the biggest job in the NBL right now, how Chris is shooting the ball as JL steps into a transition three. I'm not sure if that's what they drew up out of their first few sets, as Alan Williams comes and attacks down the other end. But Matt Kenyon defensively really needs a big effort tonight, and I loved his energy over the last few games.
A little shaking by Brown.
Get the crowd going. But Matt Kenyon's ability to get offensive rebounds like he just does, great possessions, is going to be huge for the Phoenix, who are down some numbers. Right now, they're just getting to the rim at will. That first play for Chris Golding, I know you got to watch his three. Besides that, it was a dump off from the Delhi, just putting his head down.
Fast start for United as Williams again just couldn't get it to finish at the bucket.
JLA's length of the rim there is just giving a little bit more trouble as Golding. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Oh, it started early, boys.
Well, let's get into the heater that he has been on, boys. The last 6 weeks, he's made 6 three-pointers a game at 50% shooting. He's made at least 4 in every game and averaging over 26 points a game.
It's ridiculous. Ben Eyre gets deep. That's good for Ben Eyre. Hard to shake Bailey. That's really the only way to describe it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Rowdy, I mean, you're an elite sharpshooter. You have games like it, but to do it consecutively at the rate he's doing it, it is just absurd.
And as he makes an unbelievable pass, he's doing it all.
I tell you what, he just had a look at Mike Kelly to say, "You calling a timeout?" Yeah, that's what he's waiting for.
But he's in rare form, and as you said, you may have a game or two, but as Alan Williams steps into a three, you have patches where you're shooting like that, but no.
Heat check early for Golding.
It's not even heat check, he's on fire, but yeah, to consistently do it over that number of games has been incredible, and geez, wouldn't it be nice to get 10 odd threes a game run for you?
The level of consistency as Mitch Creek gets on the board.
That's the way the Phoenix have to play. You've got to slow it down. I mean, that three from Alan Williams, we expected a bit of a rush of blood from the big fellas in this one with all the talk since last game. There was no surprise there, but slow it right down. You can see they're in a zone right now, trying to junk it up. The zone's not bad, but no doubt the Melbourne United would have expected they'd go to some sort of zone at some point.
Here's Dellavedova. Good feed. Travers already first foul on Alan Williams.
Yeah, big talking point, isn't it?
Take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Here's Chris Golding, the first of what we think will be a few tonight.
You got him on the arm.
That's so sweet.
Well, you mentioned Randy, nice having 10 threes ran for him. Look at that dime to Luke Travis. But the way he's shooting, 43.5%, it's probably not enough.
Yeah, shoot more.
Get him up more.
Talk about Luke Travis. Big night for him. Perhaps GM in the house. He's been in sneaky good form as well. His last 3 games, averaging 16 points a game at 64% from the field, over 8 rebounds and a couple of assists.
It's the one thing we all wanted to see throughout his time in the Wildcats was this consistency, because he can do it. We saw it in glimpses and patches. Doesn't give away burgers. Is an away game for Melbourne United. So you could also feed your own fans, technically, in the same way. So not the worst thing.
Good start here for United. Interestingly, they've only won one of their last 7 first quarters. So they've generally been slow starters. This time, Alan Williams attacks the offensive board, draws a foul.
That's what he's got to do. JLA came across, got a piece of it. A block on Mitch Creek, and then Alan Williams is always going to be there to clean it up. And that's a better offensive percent in the half court. Slow it right down. And even Matt Kenyon had a little think about shooting that. Roll it in. That's where they're going to do their damage right there. Mitch Creek back to the basket. Alan Williams hanging around for an offensive rebound.
Showed the matchup last time they played against JLA. Bit of rush of blood early. He's never taken the 5 field goals. Hasn't made one yet. Rowdy just trying to impose himself in the game, but just probably a bit of adrenaline running through. Big source at the moment.
No, I think so. I think just wants to get off to on a good note and obviously get the fans involved. And he's such an emotional player. But yeah, a bit of a rough start.
There's the Phoenix new signing.
Abdul Nader, the new recruit. He's
very exciting.
Flew in today.
Looking forward to it. Apparently wanted to play as well.
What I was about to say. I heard he wanted to suit up.
Oh, wouldn't you want to suit up in a game like this? As again, another dime from Dellavedova to Travis.
He's going to be a really good fit for this Phoenix team. You think about what they're missing right now.
Great atmosphere in the house here too. South East Melbourne home game. Almost capacity. Browns couldn't get that to go.
You know what I don't miss? Having Shea Illy chase me around. He is an absolute pest and a great defensive player. Him versus Gary Brown's going to be fun to watch all night. As he gets into the lane for an easy 2.
See there, that's just a presence and awareness. And Williams knowing that that ball's going to be dumped off. My goodness.
There's Creek looking to be aggressive. Goes with the right hand. Draws the foul. And the bucket.
There's some physicality going on here. It's what you want to see in a throwdown.
Oh, we thought it was going to be physical, and this is a screen. And Matthew Dellavedova, as tough as they come, maybe didn't hear it with all the noise from the fans, but gets straight back up, gets back into it, but crunching blow to start.
Spoke about Mitch Creek coming off his season best game against the Sydney Kings in their season best win, the 33 points. Just a little nugget for you, Rowdy. When Mitch Creek has scored more than 20 points in a game this season, South East Melbourne are 5-1.
Oh man!
When they haven't, they're 3-5.
Yeah, good.
Corey Homicide Williams in the house.
I had a chat to him just before, and I tell you what, he's awesome to see the legend here. And big smile on his face.
He's in the Reebok influencer seats. Now he's going through some health battles at the moment, but great to see him enjoy this throwdown. There he is. Narrowly will get a chat with him later on in the game, find out how he's travelling. Great to see him enjoying this one. Where United, pretty good shape early. Oh, Travis coughs that one up. Just see the confidence in Chris Golding at the moment as Air feeds Gak checking into the game. Good defence from Porty.
See, even that, I mean, they had the advantage, a good dump-off pass from Ben Air, but they've had success when they've just basically got over half court. If they have a fast break, just stop on a dime, set it up, get the ball in Mitch Creek's hands, get the ball in Gary Brown's hands and make something happen.
Oh, excuse me! Dellavedova to hook Porty.
And it's an and one. He didn't even notice. He started running back. This crowd got off their feet for this one as we look at the Harvey Norman replay. There are a few players in this league that can do that, and Dellavedova has been on fire getting other guys involved early.
Oh, that is... It's a photographer's dream sitting underneath that.
That's like his draft stock, I think, just keeps rising.
This United team, they just look chock full of confidence, don't they? We spoke about they've now got their full roster with Ian Clark back in the last game. You feel like they're only going to get better, despite what they've already done this season. They look like they are just building.
Well, they do, and again, you talk about the confidence. They would have had that for sure when they're at full strength, but that win over South East Melbourne in the last throwdown, short-handed, is only going to help that, knowing that, okay, if we lose a couple of players or there's injuries, we've still got enough pieces to get it done. This man here, Kyle Bowen, checks into the game. I say, man, he's a rookie, straight out of college, and he was enormous last time these two teams met.
He fits their system so well and just does his role. Rebounds, unorthodox shot. We talk about it all the time, but has found it consistent.
But he's also, as I said, he's still a rookie. So if you're Mitch Creek right now, you've got to see red. You've got to see red in attack.
Owen Foxwell gets in for his first few minutes. I expected him to get some run, probably some time on Goulding with his defensive prowesses. And the man we talked about, Bowen, gets a steal on Creek.
Good active hands from Kyle Bowen, the youngster. The 23-year-old as Goulding looks to be aggressive. Just gets a little bit of separation. Couldn't get it to go. He wanted the foul. As Bowen gets a hand in again, forces another turnover. And this time Goulding does draw the foul.
Someone tell Arrowhook Paulie there's more games here this weekend, and we need those rings.
Shoot him, please.
Just crafty play. That's the body. Carries down. Going to the free throw line here. 83% free throw shooter.
If your arm doesn't extend, you come from outside and cause the contact. I have you coming from outside and causing the contact. I don't have you
check back into the game. I was talking about how Melbourne United continually improving. So the first 5 games of this season, they didn't score 9 points at all. In their last 9 games, they've scored 90 or more. And in the last 3, over 100. So we know they've been the best defensive team, but their offense is just getting better as this season continues to roll into the year.
Well, it is, and again, but the reason they're top is not the offense, is it? It's what they're doing with defensive end, and we've seen that in the last couple of years. This would be somewhat of an anomaly.
There's no message from me,
Jack's just sitting at home thinking, we should be safe here.
I don't even think the kids are thinking they're getting Hungry Jacks here.
But again, it's the same as Tasmania now. They've figured it out defensively. And all of a sudden, they're right in the hunt. Sydney Kings elite defensively the last 2 years, and they were champions. Defense wins an NBL championship.
Yeah, that's a recipe, isn't it? Defense has to be in that top 3, really, and then offensively you just build from there. It's Creek in attack mode, as you said, attacking the rookie. They've looked good when they've got downhill and got on the rim.
Baskets count. This seems like we could be heading towards a 40-minute Mitch Creek game. We know his motor's going to be there. They have got another game this weekend, obviously, but they need a massive performance from him, especially Gary Brown, Alan Williams as well. Mitch Creek's the one where you could probably see a couple of advantages out there to go at this defense from Melbourne United.
Averaging tick over 20 points a game, 4 from the league. He's already got 8 in this opening quarter. Ben Air checks back into the game. Gary Brown.
Looks like Phoenix may be dropping back into the zone again. It's been picked apart a little bit here, so I think they're just trying to find different ways to nullify Goulding and probably rest some players a little bit.
There's Clark. Checks into the game, does it with ease. Talk about some efficient scorers. He's one of the most efficient in the competition, Ian Clark. Shooting at over 50% from the field, over 50% from three-point range, and still hasn't missed a free throw. Just working himself back into full fitness. Ian Clark as Creek again looks to be aggressive, and Bowen active hands for a 3rd time in this first quarter.
Yeah, very impressive. It's an island there with Creaky out in the paint, but as Huck 40 goes at Williams, and there was a hand that reached in there, but I think that's 2 for Big Sauce.
This is the zone right here, and this is why you're talking about getting picked apart. All it takes is a ball screen here on Owen Foxwell. Mitch Creek cannot leave Chris Goulding in the corner. So, yes, the zone might take away some other things, but all you do is set that pick on the side of wherever Chris Goulding is. Ian Clark's going to have a floater because the only defender there is Mitch Creek guarding 2, right? If he picks Ian Clark, then Chris Goulding.
You pick your poison with that one.
Exactly right.
If Big Sauce steps up, then it's a lob dunk, as we've seen already happen tonight.
So it's going to be an interesting thing to see what Mike Kelly does here, because there's 2 fouls now on Williams now, which the zone can try and hide him a little bit. again, the only way they can set up the zone and get continuous sets in it is if they score themselves. If they keep missing or turning the ball over, then they don't get a chance to set it up.
Even spoke during the week, Alan Williams, about trying to commit less fouls, but sometimes he says he can't help himself. And already he's probably a couple of soft ones too, just getting the hand in.
Yeah, just probably unnecessary ones. He just keep him straight up, make Quarter shoot it over the top.
Oh, here we go. The covers. We got some.
There is the burger early.
Yeah.
Oh, those kids are pumped. Just download the app, code word cold, get your free Hungry Jack's cheeseburger. We'll get that out of the way early. There's Tarangi back into the team after having his first child last week.
Yeah, there's some babies going around, isn't there? No, it's awesome. His first had a quick chat to him as Bowen's with that unconventional shot, steps up and hits a three. Had a quick chat to him before the game, and he hasn't got much sleep, but he's loving it and enjoying being a father. Hot pass.
It's a great pass.
There's lots of bodies down.
There's 3 or 4 in the back court, which leaves Cameron wide open. Chose not to go for the 3 instead. Now, selfish play to Bowen. And they're up and about Melbourne United. And Mike Kelly's seen enough. He calls a snooze timeout in this first quarter. Melbourne already at a 13-point lead.
That's what we spoke about. They've got to put the ball in the basket. Bowen, you're right. It's not conventional, but it goes in. That's a missed layup from Reece Vague that leads to a layup down the other end. You've got to make sure you take every single opportunity right now, because they've had some really good looks. Just 31% from the field. 0 assists so far for South East Melbourne Phoenix.
I'll tell you what, Rowdy, he's a man of few words, Joe Luala-Chul. We don't hear from him often. But our very own man here, Pete Hawley, said, I will catch up with him and I will get plenty out of him. He caught up pre-game. Let's take a listen.
We always talk about the throwdowns and the rivalry is going to build itself, but everyone's going to talk about the elite individual matchups. What do you enjoy most about competing against some of the other centers in the league?
It's just every other game. The aim is to win. Not really too caught up in like who's who. Just try to show up and hoop and try to win.
You won a title with Melbourne United a few years ago. Are there any similarities with this group compared to that group?
Yeah, I'd say there's similarities, but the biggest thing is our depth. I think that year we won, we had a great, off the bench squad, and similar to this year. So yeah, I'd say so.
You seem like you have a big smile on your face for these kind of games. Is that true?
Just a happy guy.
He's a pretty cool cat. Tell us a little bit about him.
No, again, the rise has been incredible. He went to Baylor University and didn't play a whole lot. And speaking of great men, Dave Anderson, one of the all-time greats, doing great things for the NBL now as well. And, it was a slow start, slow burn for his NBL career. Didn't play a whole lot in that first little bit for Melbourne United. Stuck with it and then became a force, no doubt about it. And I'll tell you what, that interview there, he said a whole lot more right before we said action, and a lot of stuff that we couldn't probably play until a few hours from now. Make no mistake, he lives from these kind of personal matchups.
Well, let's keep a look for some adjustments from South East Melbourne. 14 points. Creek steps into a 3. Get the offensive board. Kenyon and Air getting involved.
Yeah, Kenyon's energy again, just getting a hand on it, creating extra possessions. Offensively, the tree is narrowed. There's less scorers out there, so the ability to create extra possessions, get some extra shots will hopefully help Phoenix get back into this game.
Harry Brown to the bonus.
Harry Brown's been really good at that the last couple of plays down the floor. And that's something you can really take advantage of against the likes of Shea Lee, Quinn Cameron and Matthew Dellavedova. When they crawl up and in, and they can be an absolute pest, you're close enough. You just lean into the body, you kind of throw your arm up, and their arms are going to be in there, and you're going to get a foul call. He's done it on Ian Clark as well. There's no surprise that Shea Lee comes straight back into the game. That's just a nice veteran play from Gary Brown.
Coming off a season low 3 points against the Sydney Kings last week, but season high 9 assists. He still contributed 6 rebounds, and already he's got 4 points tonight. Nari Porty getting some work on that lower back. Or might be a bit of blood, in fact. He takes a seat. It's a pretty formidable two-headed monster, isn't it? You've got Porty and Joe Luala-Chul just continue to go at. This time they do go down to JLO. He tried to find the mismatch for Bowen. Then Air thought he'd done enough.
Black 10, hold.
Both teams in the bonus here, so a couple of shots for Bowen, but as you said, Melbourne United's depth at all positions, to have two big monsters with length who can score, who can block shots, It's almost subbing 1-for-1. They're not quite exactly the same player, but their depth at all positions is just incredible to watch, and subs come in and they don't miss a beat.
Mike Kelly just saw the replay. It wasn't a heap. The contact was well before the whistle went. They were wrestling for position down low, and in the end, it looked like there wasn't a whole lot that Ben Air did wrong. But Kyle Bowen, again, had an impact last time against the Phoenix, and Dean Bickman knew there was that advantage. Threw him out here early, and he's had a really good start to this one. 7 points.
Another strip, this time Clark, and they're off to the races. Bowen again. And they are full of running, Melbourne United.
Full of running's right. Watch Kyle Bowen anytime there's a loose ball and they're going the other way. Head down sprint. Hookporty does it as well. Hookporty might be the best lane sprinter for a big man in the competition. He just takes off, but this team is up and about right now.
South East Melbourne slow them down somehow. Vague trying to defend Joe Luala-Chul Jr. One crack at it, second crack just too big. They don't have any answers in this first quarter, South East Melbourne. Here's Kenyon. And again, United are off. Ellie. Quite affect the lob, but Luala-Chul still likes the matchup. So hard to stop.
Well, he is, and again, you expected they might slow it down a little bit, but no. They got that miss from Matt Kenyon and took off, and everybody catches up. Right now, this transition offense is so potent.
Here's Brown. They needed that. Another snooze timeout. Oh, quarter time already. Excuse me, that first quarter. Come with a rush. 17 points, Melbourne United. Their biggest first quarter of the season. Can South East respond? Melbourne United have owned the throwdown in recent times, winning 7 of the last 9 matchups. And it looks like continuing here after a dominant first quarter that saw them with a season-high first quarter, 35 points. Everyone was getting involved. The big men, Kyle Bowen as well, 9 points, leading all scorers in the first quarter. The South East Melbourne Phoenix don't have any answers at this stage. If we take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors 3-point leaders, no surprise, that man there, Chris Golding, 65 makes. Jordan Crawford in second. And Bryce Cotton has worked his way up to third. We'll talk about Chris Golding and the form he's been in this year, boys, averaging 4.6 3-pointers made a game. If he continues at this rate, and the Andrew Gaze in 1989 and Shane Heal in 1994, when they were playing 48 minutes, mind you, have averaged more 3-pointers in a game in a season. It's incredible.
He's on a tear, and those stats of most made threes compared to the next person, it's a wide margin as Phoenix get off to a good start. It's unbelievable the clip he's shooting at, the rate he's shooting at, how confident and calm he is. And not just that, making big shots at big times, deep threes, right when they're needed.
Lyle Chul again works his way under the basket. It's the finish and the foul. Nerily Meadows, you're taking a listen in at the huddle there at quarter time.
Yeah, listening into Phoenix, and fair to say they are not happy, as you'd expect, with that 18-35 scoreline at quarter time. It was actually assistant coach Sam McKinnon who gave them an absolute roasting. Just the basic things like boxing out. The list went on and on. Really disappointed from the assistant. And then Mike Kelly came in. He was also unusually animated. Really unhappy with that defensive effort, conceding 35 points.
Of course, they've lost both matchups earlier this season, which Creek called for a travel.
They're last in the league in assists, 13.7 for Phoenix. And a lot of that has to do with, I mean, Gary Brown, he's a terrific point guard, but we know he likes to dribble the ball a whole lot. That's part of his playmaking. He's had some success. But right now, they've got 0 assists for their 20 points to start. And they're trying to find what works. And I said all day that they need to come out and punch Melbourne United in the mouth. And to be honest, I've flipped that. I've changed my mind. They've got to slow it down. Anytime, unless it's a blatant 2-on-1 fast break, run a set, really try and slow this game down. Because otherwise it's a track meet, and if that misses from Ben Air, it's straight down the other end. And the way that Melbourne United are running, they're just scoring every time.
Well, he's full of confidence, Ben Air. Spoke about Ian Clark's efficiency shooting the ball. Ben Air's also going at 50%. And there's Clark at the other end. The two most efficient scorers in the competition, particularly from three-point range.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete. I think we've just got to slow it down, Phoenix, make it a nice slow game, but we're just letting United get out in transition and just get easy buckets. There's another one. Their defense has just turned into offense time and time again. It's got to be execution. We're going to time out here. Slow it down. Defense is one thing, but look at the transition points. They're just getting out and scoring at will. And that's exactly what they have to stop. And that's going to come. How do you limit transition points? Slow it down in the half court. Be really methodical. Set screens. Literally shoot anywhere in the last 8 seconds if you can.
A snooze timeout. We saw Corey Homicide Williams sitting in the Reebok influencer seats. Nerily Meadows is down there to have a chat.
I've got to say, Corey, we miss you dearly being part of the commentary team. Tell us where you're at the moment.
Oh, man, I miss you all, too. You know, thank God I'm here. Grateful for this new chapter in this journey that I'm going through. I feel good. I'm happy. And things are going the right way. So that's all I can ask for right now. I'm glad I decided to come back to Melbourne to get healed and healthy, because it's been so peaceful for me, and that's half the battle. And all I can tell you is I'm feeling good. This is my first game back. Watching it, I miss it. I watch the games at home, and everybody's doing a fantastic job. And I love what I see. You know, the quality's A1, and I'm just loving what I'm seeing basketball-wise, on and off the court. Storylines, the commentary, just everything.
I've got to tell you, you've always been a polarising character, particularly with the Perth Wildcats and franchises like that. But tell me, the love from the fans has just been incredible for you. Have you felt it?
I'm grateful, because in my DMs, I still haven't finished responding back. That's how many people hit me up, like, grateful. You know, thank you to the NBL. Larry's a genuine man. Had my back from the beginning. Corey, we got you 100% when I told him, whatever you need, we are here. We got you. So I just want to give a shout out to his wife, Anita, with the Prayer Warriors. I love you, and I really appreciate you all. And the whole NBL staff. I appreciate you all.
We love you. The whole stadium, every fan in here loves you, and right around the country as well. We miss you dearly. And Corey, may I say, we appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate you. You know how we doing, Ned.
Oh, man, a bit emotional, to be honest. It's just phenomenal to see him out here, and the outlook he has on life, I mean, just puts a smile on everybody's face just seeing him back in a basketball stadium, in an NBL stadium. He's given so much to this league on and off the floor, and he's a wonderful human being. And just watching before the game, everybody getting around him, giving him a hug, is just an unbelievable thing to see. And yeah, as I said, it's a bit emotional just to hear from him. I just love seeing him back.
Technical foul.
I just can't wait to see him go over to the West, to be honest. I think the Red Army will be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great to see him here at the game, and obviously our thoughts are still with him as he's going through what he's going through, but his attitude and his demeanour stays the same. He's still the same Corey Homicide Williams, and I'm sure he's got some fun takes for us after the game to go through this one.
Gary Brown was called for the technical foul. The NBL community wish Corey Homicide all the best. Let's try and see with East Melbourne, what can they do to try and eat into this margin? You mentioned slowing it down, Pete. To try and find some points. Mitch Creek leading the way with 8.
They've had 3 more field goal attempts. They've had 6 offensive rebounds. They're getting second chances, but again, you look at just the type of looks they're getting. Not only is this transition offense from Melbourne United scoring any time they get out and have any sort of advantage, not even an advantage at times. It's 4-on-4, but they're running. They're getting a good look, aren't they, Rowdy? But slowing it right down and just getting take the possessions out of the game. Take as many possessions out of the game as you can, and really try and slow this thing down and make it a dogfight, and obviously get out of foul trouble as well.
That's it. They're just got to slow it down, and their offense, Phoenix's offense, needs to just improve. They've given up too many turnovers. They've let United get out in transition, finding their confidence. Just slow it down, get through their sets, get into the paint, try and find some easy buckets. And I sort of made a highlight as we were listening to Corey about Matt Kenyon. He's still up for the finals.
Oh, and you can't do anything about that.
I mean, you can't
let it deflate you either. I know it's hard, but that's just a really good shot maker taking a tough shot. But we talked about it as well, Rowdy. So the best defensive team in the league, Melbourne United, is Gary Brown gets that one to go. When's the most likely you can score on them and get the best looking shot? It's going to be at the end after you've got side to side and set screens. That's where you're most likely to get a breakdown in the best defensive team.
It's going to be an offensive foul. And the crowd appreciate that one. Good atmosphere in the house here, John Cain Arena, South East Melbourne home game. Good turnout on a Thursday night.
Fantastic turnout, and that's it. Just one possession. Start off with one defensive stop, build from there. Maybe make the aim 3 defensive stops in a row. Get some easy baskets just like that. Now get settled defensively, keep guys in front of you. And if they hit some stuff between the legs, step back 3, sometimes you have to just give them a pat on the bum. There's plenty of contact there.
There's a second foul. Mitch Creek. And it's hard because they're going to try and set a tone defensively. See, they're getting up in, they're trying to be physical, but you also just got to try and realise when you can do that. Is there any point in doing it at the halfway line?
And 3 big guns. They've got the 2 fouls, so Gary Brown, Alan Williams and Mitch Creek. So they just need to be careful. You've got to keep them out there tonight if there any chance.
So Mike Kelly's about to get a warning here from Chris Reid.
No more.
He's saying no more because Mike Kelly saw the replay on that, but the problem was, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot in terms of a trip, but the contact made when Luke Travis started to pick up speed is where it was called. You can't review it because it's probably going to be upheld with the fact there was contact.
Over again with a little feed to Golding. Helps himself to another 2. He's up to 9.
And 5 assists for Daly already. Just creating, obviously using his size and strength down low with the mismatch and able to find cutters. And Phoenix trying to keep...
Oh, hello.
Trying to keep Gordon off the 3-point line, but can't give him shots to the rim like that. That is an acrobatic finish, the old sky hook.
That's taken straight out of the assistant coach from Melbourne United, Reece Carter's playbook.
Again, good find from Clark to Travers, draws the foul.
Now, I'll tell you what, Mike Kelly might have to think about this. This is the 3rd foul on Mitch Creek. But the problem was, I just don't think he was aware of where Travers was.
What would you do, Rowdy, if you're the coach?
I'm sure
3 fouls on Mitch Creek.
I'm sure they're having a quick look at it as we are too.
Oh, boy. Or, you might have to think about it. It's one of those line ball ones, 50-50. There's not a lot of contact, but if they find the angle where he does get under him at any stage, then they're going to uphold the foul. But that's your star. That's your number one player. That's the one that's going to hurt you the most if he's off the court.
And you're down 19. Now, so he's got the free throw line to make it a 20-point game. Would it have been worth rolling the dice to save it? I know a lot of coaches want to keep it now in the back pocket towards the end of the game, but at the rate this is going, that won't matter by then. I might have rolled the dice with a challenge on that one.
Travers knocks down 1 of 2. Got the 9 points. Shooting at 100%, Luke Travers. Just missed the 1 free throw. Kenyon, Brown, Air, Williams and Tarangi. Air looks to be aggressive, as he's done most of the quarter. Good find. Back to Air. Plenty of time to set his feet. He'll be disappointed with that.
Shot clock winding down. They get a wide open look to the most efficient shooter in the league. That's a beautiful set. I know you missed it. Don't let it affect you. That's exactly how they've got to play.
Phoenix already over the limit. 5 fouls, 5.5 minutes left in the quarter. As Melbourne walk the entire length for 2 easy ones, and this is not the way to get back into the game, to give them easy shots at the rim. Phoenix is just going to have to rein it in, be smart defensively, and not give up easy fouls that lead to free throws.
Been quiet in the previous 2 games against South East Melbourne. Ariel Hukporti, in the 30 minutes he played in those 2 games, just a total of 6 points at 20% from the field. He's been good tonight, 4 points already, a couple of rebounds. Of course, these teams have met 23 times head-to-head. Melbourne, well, this is the 23rd meeting, I should say, 15-7 in favour of Melbourne United. There's another foul's called.
Here we go. Oh, he wants this reviewed. He thinks that was a little extracurricular from Delhi.
Well, we got it right in front of us, and Delhi did grit the teeth and let him know about it. And this may have been a little bit of a... There's nothing too much in it. Delhi's trying to get through the screen, but a little bit of payback maybe for that screen at half court.
I think that's exactly what it was too. You're right, because he's clearly trying to avoid, like he's trying to sneak through a gap. The gap wasn't there. Credit Ben Air for really going to use that screen properly, but no doubt about it that he remembered that first one and said, look, I'm either going to fight through this screen, or if you hit this screen, I'm putting you down. Alan Williams smiling. He loves it. I'm all for it.
Bit of AFL on that. He dropped the shoulder, little hip and shoulder.
Oh, 2 competitors just going at it.
That's okay.
They'll walk off the court at the end of the game, shake hands. Well, depending on how the results go, they'll shake hands at some stage, and just part of the game. But 2 fiery competitors that don't take a step back to anybody.
Ian Clark, the leading scorer, with 10 points so far in this first half. Cole Bowen also has the 9, Golding and Travers as well. So they do spread the scoring around Melbourne United. South East Melbourne, it's Mitch Creek and Gary Brown with 8 apiece. Creek's having a spell. Kenyon almost coughs it up. Oh, good hustle from Shea Ellie. That's what he does. And forces another turnover.
It's fantastic play. Up 23, everything going right for them, but still willing to sacrifice, put the body on the line, get on those loose balls and force another turnover.
There's a tech foul for Mike Kelly that's been brewing. This has been brewing from Mike Kelly. Got a warning just before from Chris Reed. And Nico Fernandez said he's heard enough.
Black! Black! Yes, correct. Come here, everyone.
I'm not sure exactly, you hear him saying review it, but we got a pretty good look on the replay there. It was pretty clear off Owen Foxwell. And you can feel this was growing up, and sometimes it's a good opportunity just to get a tech foul as Chris Golding misses his 2nd free throw of the night, just to try and spark something.
You think that was a planned, a tactical technical foul, was it?
Well, I do, because they weren't. If you review that, it was pretty clear that it was going to be not a ball from the replay that we saw. So maybe just that and trying to get the referee to say there's a little soul mine.
There it is again. That's a couple of times we've seen that. Huckporty up to 7 points.
There's got to be some sort of weak side rotation there to get a bump. He can't have a free run at the rim. He's too athletic, and Daly's too good of a playmaker. He's already up to 6 assists, I should say.
0 turnovers as well. Just 2 turnovers so far in this game for Melbourne United. Good knockdown there from Gary Brown, who's into double figures. And there's the third.
You mozzed him right on time, but we've seen a bit of a change in the attitude from Daly. He came out super aggressive offensively, trying to score, and tonight just distributing, getting everyone else involved.
Take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Dellavedova again. Does it feel like it's been a bit of a plan tonight? Some lobs down low?
Well, it has, because you see Matt Kenyon and Chris Golding. Matt Kenyon's going to be the one that helps on that. Kind of, you talk about the bump or someone come across the weak side, stop Huckporty's run. The problem is, if he stops for a split second to try and get a bump on Huckporty, who does he leave open for a split second? Chris Golding. It's that Spanish action. That's exactly why it's really hard to guard. You've got to screen the screen, and when you've got a guy who's red hot right now from outside, you have to do something else. Otherwise, he's just going to have a layup.
Yeah, and just smart offensive sets by United, putting dangerous players in dangerous positions where they can be most effective as big source. That's usually a floater we see him make. He's just he's struggled getting going a little bit tonight, Source, but
just 0 of 7 from the field. Big Source Williams hasn't quite gone his way so far, but you know he's never going to give up. He goes again, and that might get him going. A bit unconventional, but it'll do.
He just wheeled that one in. Just wheeled that one in. I got nervous because Illy was right in front of him, and Illy's so good at taking charges in that situation, and that would have been an absolute horror show if he got his 3rd foul.
Oh, big margin, 21 points. Cameron, oh, nice little move. That's class.
You gotta know the play, though. You gotta know it.
Exciting talent from Cameron. He's going to be a star in this league for many years to come.
Got some good guards to learn off while he's building.
He's got some pedigree to learn from. Some great stories about him and his old man, the legend, Aaron Cameron. Spoke to him up at the Blitz. He was up in the Gold Coast.
One of the strongest players. I've still got a kink in my neck from one screen that he said on me when I was a young... Oh, it wouldn't even matter if he said it on me now. It'd crunch me. As you said, one of the strongest players and one of the smartest players. He was so good at being that undersized forward, but with his shooting ability and ability to pass, he was tough.
Creek back on the floor. Williams going to try his luck from long range.
There you go. The floater got him going, and he's hit the 3. I like how they went inside, though, with Creek. Slow it down, get it to your best players in the areas that they could be most dangerous, and unconventional, but Source was the one feeding and get the 3 off the end of it.
Here's the Walachul. This is the matchup. Walachul took the honours in round 7. Couldn't get that to go.
And good by Source there. Obviously knows he's got 2 fouls, knows he can't get another one. Played smart, kept his hands out.
They go back down to Creek. This time Williams, 3 from 3.
Here we go, he's going.
Starting to warm up. And Dean Vickerman calls a timeout, and they get back to 18 points.
Just one possession at a time. The patience. I'm going to throw it inside, and Alan Williams, he can knock it down.
Yeah, but you look at both of those, both times. Creek in the post, playing out of the post, moving the ball off actions, off screens, off cutting, but using your best players where they're most effective.
Well, their halftime feature will be on Alan Williams. We'll get to know a bit more about him, but here's just a little teaser.
Coffee in Melbourne might be the best coffee in the world, and I'm sure I got some Italian friends that are gonna listen in on this and think that theirs is a little bit better, but just the way that they're able to blend the milk with the coffee and the good beans and the good soil, and then you just have people that actually care about making your coffee. Like, I can go to Hungry Jack's and get a Jack's Barista coffee, and it's gonna be as good as your local cafe, and so I just think that coffee kind of community here in Melbourne is one of a kind. I go strong flat white with oat. That's a go-to. If it's Starbucks, I'll get whatever the festive drink is for the time being. So they have like a gingerbread latte right now, and so I think before the next game I'll have a quadruple shot, 1 pump of gingerbread with some oat milk.
Makes me physically ill to hear that. Physically ill.
Unusual.
As a coffee connoisseur, self-proclaimed, that makes me physically ill to hear all of that. And I mean, the strong flat white, I'm fully on board with. That's my go-to. But
The quad shot, the two pump, all that gingerbread, all that kind of extracurricular is very unnecessary. And there's a reason we have a phenomenal coffee scene here in Melbourne, and that right there, that what he said, is not one of them. He's not one of the reasons.
He has been one of the great additions to the NBL though, the last couple of seasons, not just on the court, but off the court as well. So as we said, we'll have a full feature on him at half-time. As South East Melbourne just try and see if they can eat into this margin. Get it back within 18 points. Still just over 2.5 minutes.
Going back to the zone, see if they could slow things up as
Travers gets upstairs.
They keep cutting it up with simple ball screen action they've gone to again, hitting the players down low in the dunker spots and getting on the rim.
He's up to a game-high 11 points, Luke Travers. A couple of rebounds. And they get another steal. Shea Illy this time. And draws the foul. And just like that, it's back up to 22.
Yeah, just again, it's the same thing, isn't it, that we highlighted? That screen on the outside of the zone, they've just got no rotations right now, and then Shea Illy once again. I mean, he's the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, isn't he? You look at it, it's nearly every year that he plays, and so much so that the rest of the league knows it. That's who votes, the coaches and captains. Probably shouldn't have been in the finalists last year. Didn't play anywhere near enough games, but I think that's just how well respected he is as a defender.
Yeah, the reputation is building. Does it night in, night out, and gets the toughest matchups each week. It really shuts them down, causes problems, gets steals like we just saw, and can attack them at the offensive end too. But as he almost gets another one.
And there's the rejection from JLA.
We tried to go with the left. Did Alan Williams. His usual floater. He just knocked one down before. That's his go-to. Look at it here. He chose to go with the left, which allowed JLA to come across and block that. He went with his normal floater. He probably gets it up high enough. 2 blocks for JLA.
This time a steal from South East Melbourne is JLA again. Protecting the rim. Giving nothing away to South East Melbourne as Shea Illy's called for a hold on Alan Williams. Well, it's hard enough on the score as it is, let alone when JLA's coming over the top doing that.
And that's what Chris Golding knew, that JLA was coming. So he said, all I've got to do here is just wall up and not foul, because my big fella's coming down to pin that against the glass. 3 blocks so far.
And that's why he leads the league in blocks. Chul Jr. And Clark called for the foul.
Yeah, he's fired up. He's having a few words to say.
I'd be pissed too, Ian. I'd be pissed too. Hey, straight up, straight up. There's been 5 of those. That's the first one they called. I'd be pissed
Ben
too.
Air getting his second start in a row since the moving on of Will Cummings. I want to ask you boys about the new recruit that has been signed during the week. Abdul Nader.
You played against him, Rowdy?
Yeah, you played against him in the NBA. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, a couple of times from a nice position at the end of the bench. I think, no, I actually got some minutes and played against him, but great athlete, can shoot the ball. I think he's going to be a good fit for them. Looking for an athletic wing to get up and down, be able to create some scores, and just another offensive piece for them.
Well, they still need another offensive piece. There he is. Now, when Craig Moller went down, unfortunate injury, because he's been terrific for them, one of the best pickups in terms of locals. But in my head, I'm like, I bet you Ryan Brockhoff might have got a call from CEO Tommy Greer, and then you tell me it was true. Did he call you and say, hey, mate, can I talk you out of retirement?
It wasn't Tommy. It was head coach over there.
Oh, Mike Kelly, there we go.
Mike Kelly. This is a good possession for the Phoenix. I'm deflecting as much as possible.
No, think about it?
The Phoenix have called you. They did call you.
They called me last week and just sort of said one of my thoughts, and geez, I'm on the hot seat here. I can feel it. Oh, here we go.
Did you think about it?
I had a thought. I had to think about it, and obviously there's always a passion to play, but just from everything else going on off the court, there's just not enough time to fit it in. But very humbled that they'd still think of me after not playing for a few months.
Okay, so true or yes? Okay, yes.
True or yes? Okay.
Yes or true? You made 63 threes in a row at your Hoop City facility during a shooting drill earlier in the week.
Yes, but I also can't run up and down the court very much anymore. So
is the door completely shut on this season?
Oh, I think so. I think just
there's a window open, isn't there? Door shut, but the window's open.
I'm sure there's always going to be knocks at the door. It's just whether I answer anymore. But it's obviously, you know, as a player, you always feel like you can keep going and come back and contribute. But very happy with what I'm doing now. Very happy with the Hoop City and keeping me busy, and 2 young kids that I get to spend some more time with at home. So let's get back to the game, shall we?
What are your thoughts, Pete, on Abdul Nader? The 200 NBA games, he's 30 years old, he hasn't played for almost a couple of years with his knee injury. You like the fit?
Yeah, the fit is exactly what they need. That kind of swingman on the wing is a little pull the chair there from Alan Williams. It worked well on JLA, but he's the kind of missing piece, because you look at what Will Cummings is, great take from Gary Brown. What Will Cummings brought at times is this kind of hierarchy of the way the scoring is, the way that they're leading guys. It's obviously going to be Mitch Creek and Alan Williams, Gary Brown. So you want someone who can kind of complement all three, and I think Nader is exactly that kind of player. So the fact that he got off the plane and said, I want to play tonight is a really good thing. And just getting him up to speed as quick as possible, and hopefully we see him on Saturday, and hopefully he can have a really big impact. Maybe a similar type of feel as like an Anthony Lamb, who came in for the Breakers and has been dominant.
Dellavedova helps himself to a couple and just gives Ben Air a little pat on the backside. They've been going at it all half.
But no matter what Nader brings, you give up 63 points and a half, it's not going to matter.
Here's Kenyon. Williams wanted it down low. Back to Ben Air. And there's that chuck continuing on with Dellavedova.
Hey. Excuse me, bro. Move along. Move along.
A little bit of feeling.
I know. Hey, here you go. Go play the game. Let's go. Hey. One, 8 on the face. 2 shots. Ben down the line.
Okay. We don't need the ongoing stuff.
This was seen as a statement game, though, wasn't it, for South East Melbourne? Well, it had on that, the way they performed in round 7 when Melbourne United were missing all their stars. They couldn't get the job done. They've been dominated in recent years. It's been a disappointing first half.
Well, it has, but again, Melbourne United came out and flexed the muscle, but you could kind of see the adrenaline was flowing a bit too much at the start for the Phoenix. Alan Williams, the first 5 field goal attempts, and a couple of them were really good looks, but that's when they just really need to slow it down, and especially when United went on the early run. Just really try and take the air out of it and slow this thing right down, and now there's a lot of chirping going on back and forth between the two, which is great for all the fans. This is what we want to see.
They've made a little mini run, scored over the last 10. South East Melbourne, can they get a stop? Maybe get one more score down the other end, just to give them a little bit of hope at half-time. Just keep them within range. Dellavedova's looking at the shot clock, down to 7.
Going to get some outside of the roll as Ruben Train steps in.
Kicks it out, Clark, the hot hands! If Golding doesn't get you, Ian Clark will. That is why they are the league leaders, the Melbourne United. They put up 66 points in the first half in throwdown 23. And everything South East Melbourne tried, they just couldn't stop them.
Whatever they wanted, they got. Broken plays like that, Ian Clark's been phenomenal, but transition is where they've piled it on so far in the first half. And extracurricular, the little chirping back and forth. It works against some teams, it works against certain players, but some players rise to it. I worry what could happen in the second half with that.
Well, everyone came to see Chris Golding. 9 first half points. He's with Nerily Meadows.
66 first half points. You've got to be pretty happy with that offensively, Chris.
It's a nice change. Gave up way too many points in that quarter. We held them to 18, which is right around the mark. But, yeah, they kept getting cheapies and free throws to keep ticking their score over. So we've got to be better on that end as well.
On that point, how do you need to be ruthless in that second half? Because you know they've got the star power to get back into it.
Yeah, and, you know, they're a team that does a great job of putting pressure on the officials and getting to the line. They're always right up there in their free throw shooting. So we've got to be disciplined, get our hands out, play with our length, and try and score some more points.
Appreciate the insights. Enjoy the break.
Well, Melbourne United coming off one of their biggest wins in franchise history last week. They had a dominant first half and they just continue to roll on. Big crowd here, John Cain Arena. Can they get back into it?
Here we go.
Now Williams, the big man dominating again.
Williams top of the key.
He's having some sort of game. Alan Williams has come to play this afternoon.
Yeah, no, knee feels great. Obviously, those couple of games that I missed were vital for me getting back and getting right, and so just feeling good right now. You know, the field break is great. Like I said, we got back into the gym. We had some really good, intense practices, a lot of good film review, and just really being honest with each other about what we expect from each other and how we need to play in order to get to the places that we want to go. I mean, obviously, we went into it wanting to be one of the better defensive teams, but we held ourselves to a certain standard, and this break gave us a chance to review those standards and see where we are stacking up against the words that we said at the beginning of the year, and we weren't there. And so obviously it's just going back to what we started on and said, making sure that we're defending at a high level and limiting teams to one shot so we can get out and run and show all of our talent on the offensive end.
South East Melbourne are a lot better with Sauce on top, steamrolling his way to the front of the MVP pack at the moment.
It'd be amazing. Been close to league MVPs a couple of times and just haven't been able to, I guess, go over that threshold. But I think the most important thing about me potentially winning it means that we'll have team success. Typically the MVP is given to, you know what I'm saying, one of the better players on a better team. And so if my name is in consideration of that at the end of the year, that means that we're at a good place in the ladder going into finals, and that's what I'll be most excited about.
He had some great looks early under the basket, but couldn't get them to drop, and instead it is United up by 20 points at halftime and throw down at 23. 66 points on the board to 46, and our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. Peter Hooley has to go to Ian Clark. 13 points. He's been brilliant for United.
He's been unbelievable. I mean, when they're at full strength and when he's rolling at full strength after he got healthy, they are a completely different team, which is scary to say because we already knew how good they were. And you just watch the way he plays. I mean, he shoots over 50% from three, but he just comes in and has an impact off the bench. And speaking of some of the Sydney guys who he won a title with a couple of years ago, they came out and said that they wouldn't have won a title if Ian Clark didn't join that team. And you look at it, you say, well, maybe not. You hate Jalen Adams, you hate Jarrell Martin, but you see what he does now coming off the bench, and you see why. You look at his Blackmores shot chart, I mean, all green dots, that's normally a good sign, and the 13 points, he is just such a bright spark off the bench, and he'll be in a conversation for Sixth Man of the Year.
3 from 3 from the three-point line, including 1 from deep right at the end of that first half to put a dagger in the hearts of Phoenix, who were starting to launch a bit of a comeback. The other player we've got to talk about, though, Luke Travers, he's been exceptional. He started really strongly alongside Chris Golding, got them off to the perfect start.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's just getting in the right spot. You look at it here, it's the cuts off the ball. He's had Mitch Creek, who's trying to put his head down and got in the other way, but setting screens and rolling. This has actually been an unbelievably good season from Luke Travers, and probably overshadowed by Chris Golding's brilliance. JLA's had big games, Ian Clark, but this is the most consistent we've seen him with the Cavs in the house, his team that drafted him. This is really good to see from him, and he's still so young. I think we forget how young he is. He's only early 20s, so there's a big career left for him.
So conceding 66 points in that first half, Phoenix are the home team tonight. What would Mike B. Kelly be saying to those boys to get them back into this contest?
I mean, we heard it in a couple of timeouts, didn't we? Boxing out, they've got to be better defensively. You give up 66 points, you're not going to win too many games if that's how many you give up in a half. But I'm worried because there was a lot of chirping going on. Ben Air likes to chirp. We know Delhi's getting in there. Big Source is having some words to say. Certain teams, certain people, you don't want to poke the bear. Chris Golding, he's one of those bears that bites. Ian Clark's another one that bites. I'm a little worried.
It is 46-66 at halftime here in Throwdown 23. We know there's always spice in these contests. Can Phoenix fight their way back in front of their fans in green? Don't go anywhere. We've got the second half coming right up live from John Cain Arena.
Bunnings is backing the next generation of ballers, and today we welcome the Blackburn Vikings down to John Cain Arena for a memory they'll never forget. As they enter the court just like their heroes, it's showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome the Bunnings Ballers from the Blackburn Vikings. It's the boss man, Charlie. Up next, Benjamin, Georgia, Owen!
Yeah, Owen!
Leo! Isla! Jake, the Snake!
This is awesome!
The chef is in town, Madison! Give it up one more time for the Bunnings Ballers from the Blackburn Vikings!
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Round 11, Thursday night basketball, John Cain Arena, and it's Melbourne United with a 20-point lead, their biggest score in the first half of the season, 66 points, shooting at 73.5% from the field, if you don't mind. But Ryan Brockhoff, if South East Melbourne have any chance in this second half, you think Mitch Creek's going to have to put his Superman cape on?
He's going to have to. He's going to get more involved, and Bowen's done an amazing job getting deflections, making it hard for Creaky. But you see, even if Creaky's not scoring, when they go into him in the post, he creates things, he gets others involved, but they've got to start playing through him, and he needs a big, big second half for Phoenix to get back into this.
Of course, the issue for Mitch Creek, he has 3 fouls at half-time. He's the only player with the 3. A lot of players stuck on 2. Hey, Pete Hooley, one of the other stats that stood out from the first half, bench points. Melbourne United 31, South East Melbourne 0. That tells of the depth of these two teams at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. And again, at full strength, a lot of people thought that we might not see a lot of minutes in a guy like Kyle Bowen. Dean Vickerman said you had success last time, I'm going to throw you in the throwdown this time, and you're right, Rowdy. Mitch Creek scored once on him, but he had the 2 steals other than that, and he was terrific. And don't be surprised if Melbourne United try and get Luke Travis to set some ball screens to get a guard to go at Mitch Creek's hip. They want to pick up that 4th foul as quickly as possible.
Gary Brown's been the man with the hot hand in the first half for South East Melbourne. 14 points, shooting it over 50%, couldn't get that to go.
On the line, we go here, look.
You're going to have to get something going. Kenyon, Air, Brown, Williams.
That's not it. That's not it, Joey. That long step back contested 2, first possession out in the 3rd quarter. Ball didn't get through hands.
There is Travers continuing to attack the paint, just rimmed out.
But that's the difference in style at the moment. Phoenix, tough contested, no ball movement. Now a turnover, and United come down the other end, move the ball, pick and roll, get something on the rim that Travers usually finishes, and it's not a great start for Phoenix to start the second half. Normally goes up and dunks it. Luke Travers, very sneaky.
Melbourne United have these 66 points with Chris Golding just on 9. Only taken the 2 3-point attempts, made his first. So much depth in this roster. Full strength. They're all fit and healthy. Billy and Lola Childers weren't quite on the same page, and the second one rims out.
Exactly the same way that Travers won, rimmed out, but I called it. They're going to go straight at Mitch Creek, aren't they? They know that Mitch Creek does not want to put himself in a position to get a 4th foul, so it's a really smart play, and I mean, that just kind of sums up the night, doesn't it, for the Phoenix? That is his patented floater that he barely misses, and it hits the top of the backboard.
3 of 12 for Alan Williams tonight as Chill tried his luck from long range. And neither team get the score in this 3rd quarter. Played over a minute and a half. Both teams back in action on Saturday night. South East Melbourne head to Traralgon to take on the Hawks. You've got to back up. And Melbourne stay at home against the Adelaide 36ers. It's been a scrappy start to the 3rd quarter.
That was out of bounds.
It was definitely not re-established. But as you said, scrappy start to the second half, but
this is going to be a challenge, I think.
I think so as well.
Unless Chris Reid calls this on someone else. If this is on Joe Luala-Chul.
Daly's pretty adamant here that this needs to be challenged.
And I tell you what, so the first 5 possessions, right, for the Phoenix in the 3rd quarter. So Dean Big was going to challenge this, rightly so. Everyone was adamant, but the first 5 possessions, that long contested step back 2 from Gary Brown. The second one was turnover.
Challenge the call.
3rd one was top of the backboard. 4th one was an air ball from Mitch Creek. 5th one was that.
I've got foul on wide 8. Hit me up.
So Dean Vickerman just wanted to know what the foul was called.
So I think that's exactly right, because the original foul looked like it was called on JLA, right? And we could see that was all ball. And then the call got put on Delhi. I think once Delhi heard that, he was like, hang on, absolutely not.
You know what? You watch him and he will tell you, I don't know what he called, okay?
Snooze time out early. We'll take a look at the review. As we said, 2 minutes played in this 3rd quarter. Neither team get the score. Let's take a look at the challenge. You talk us through it, Pete. I'm not sure your strike rate's that good, but give us a go here.
After the FIBA break, I think I'm 100%, so I'm due to lose one. So the foul is on Delhi. Now,
maybe this angle shows whether he made contact with Kenyon's arm. I don't see much in there, but You might be 100%. I think I'm 0% for these, so I'll leave it up to you, Pete.
Now, I'm wondering if it's that left hand of his that just hits the bicep of Matt Kenyon on the way up. The other angle, the baseline angle, was the one that kind of showed it. It's very slight. That left hand. So you see that left hand, it kind of goes across the arm of Matt Kenyon, even though he tries to finish with the left. So this one right here. So just keep an eye on Delhi's left hand. Right there.
Get some arm.
He does a little bit. But I'm still thinking, if it's unsuccessful, you can see why, is what I'll say.
They're taking a long time to look at the review here.
So they're going to be pausing this and zooming in on that left hand. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. Zooming right in, looking at all the angles of that left hand on the right bicep of Matt Kenyon.
Coach's challenge is successful. We will restart the game with the jump ball at the centre circle.
There you go.
Successful call, Dean Vickerman.
I mean, that's all we thought of the initial one, right, Rowdy? Because, again, I thought the first foul was on Joe Luala-Chul, and I was like, that's going to be challenged. There wasn't enough there to say that was enough contact.
Make sure you stick with us this quarter. Nerily Meadows hoping to catch up with the new South East Melbourne recruit, Abdul Nader. We'll hear from him. The boys touched on earlier, was keen to play, but hopefully suits up on Saturday in Traralgon. Should be a nice moment for the fans out in Gippsland. There's Golding. Just gets that one to rim out. Hasn't quite fallen their way. Going down this end, Melbourne United to start the third quarter is Williams with a nice spin move from the big fella, and that just sums up his night. Has not been his night.
Did all the hard work there.
And Travers.
And down the other end. Missed shot, whether it's a good look or it's been a poor one, straight down the other end for Melbourne United. They capitalise.
Now it kills you. It kills momentum. It kills you. It saps your energy. And Phoenix's night at the moment, just getting to the right places, unable to finish, and then United are just so aggressive and so vigilant with how they attack in the offensive.
We spoke about Luke Travers at half-time, Pete. We know that the Cavs GM, Mike Anstey's here. Of course, he was drafted to the Cavs. A lot of talk about whether he will get some time in the NBA. Is his game, as it evolves, translating to NBA basketball?
I was super impressed with what he did in the Summer League. I mean, he won the Summer League title in Vegas with the Cavs, but that team in particular, it had Craig Porter, Marnie Bates, a couple of guys that were very ball dominant, and for him to have the impact he did without seeing a whole lot of the ball was enormous. And I think as we continue to forget, he's still so young. Early 20s, there's plenty of opportunity left, and he's that kind of unique prospect who can do a whole lot of different things as Joe Luala-Chul gets his fifth
Another
block.
one.
And out to the races again, on the rim.
And then at the other end, a couple of cracks at it. Couldn't finish, but would have been wonderful play. And now Dellavedova tries his luck. Just leaves that one short. There's still only 2 points scored in this third quarter. That was a bucket to Luke Travers as Williams gets that floater to fall. Don't die wondering, the big man, 15 attempts, 4 field goals.
Some of our crew taking a well-turned night off. It's weird, I saw them punch in still.
Here's Golding again. Similar result, short.
Keep getting stops if you're the Phoenix. Good looks down the offensive end. Keep contesting shots.
From long range, way off the mark.
Well, die wondering he is not.
4 of 16 now from the field for Alan Williams. He's got the 13 rebounds, so he's working hard on the glass, but just not getting much to fall.
And those are the ones that I know he's had his struggles from a floater that's normally money every time he shoots it, but just taking a couple more dribbles, he just nailed a floater right off the glass. Just 2 more dribbles down, take another one. He's fighting hard, no doubt about it.
He'll come to the bench. Jack Gack will check in. Shea Ely takes a seat, holding that right shoulder. Diving on loose balls, as is Dellavedova. The what makes them so good, this United side, is Ian Clark leaves that one short. So the hot hand of United from the first half certainly cooled in this third quarter. There's the handles of Brown.
A bit of contact in that.
Now they work into their set, United. And they look for that lob hook Porties, well done by Foxwell. And then force the offensive foul. Well done, youngster.
You're getting all the stops. It's just offensively, just can't get any rhythm, can't get any flow. They're getting some easy looks and they're missing them. It's just the offensive end, it just hasn't kept up with how well they've played defensively. These are the ones, with Adam Williams out of the game, run the sets that get Mitch Creek the ball in the high post area. The high post is where he has all the success because Kyle Bowen's a strong lad. I know he's a rookie, but he can hold his own back to the basket. Putting the ball on the floor, trying to get around, Mitch Creek can be really effective.
Here is Brown. Gets to Creek. Nice move. Creek into double figures. And they get another stop. They do. Good work from Gack. Take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. This was the move from Mitch Creek.
Just patient. Well, we talked about Rowdy that the ball's going to have to be in his hands. Around that handoff with Gary Brown. He needs to see a lot more of it these next few minutes because they are getting stops. It doesn't matter whether United's missing or they're forcing it. They're stops that are piling up consecutively.
They take advantage of it at the offensive end. Brown looks to attack. Just a little bit out of control. They'll keep the ball though.
Let's go.
4 players in double figures for South East Melbourne. Williams, Air, Creek and Brown. This Creek just lays it off to Gary Brown. They work in tandem, Brown up to 16. They just get it back to 16.
Give it to Creaky, let him make some plays, live and die by him. And just get one more stop. And even if United hit something here, don't let it deflate what you've started to build. There's another one. It's about 7 stops in a row. I think they've only given up 2 points in this quarter.
It's one field goal.
Defensively, they've been fantastic. It's just finding ways to get some open shots, not force it. They get to the free throw line there.
And you can just see their body language now. There's just a little bit more confidence in the playing group. You can see Mitch Creek gave a fist pump, Gary Brown as well.
And how do you stop that if you're Dean Bickman? Sub Shea Illy back in. That's the trust factor. It's that little ace up his sleeve that Dean Bickman has. When a team's starting to run, the team's starting to build a little bit of momentum, how do you shut that down? How do you put a stop on it at the head of the snake? Well, you bring back Shea Illy.
Of course, Melbourne United led by 25 points at one stage in that second quarter. It's 29-54.
And if Phoenix cut this to 10 points or single digits heading into the fourth quarter, game on. After looking gone at parts during this game, they are right in it, especially defensively with all the stops they've been getting in a row. As they leave 2 at the free throw line, that hurts. That hurts big time when you're making this sort of run.
Cole Bowen into the game. Got those 9 points in the first half as Shea Illy right on cue. Pete Hooley.
I meant more on the defensive end. That's right. And again, it's that Spanish action, isn't it? Because you see how worried they are about Chris Goulding setting that little back pick that allows the guard to get all the way to the hoop. Oh, my. That's a volleyball block.
Tarangi from the corner. Knocks down his first triple.
It's 33% from deep. Does love the corner 3, though, Ruben Tarangi.
And now they get another stop.
Hands by Foxwell.
And they've got the 3-on-1. Should be an easy finish to Brown.
There he goes.
And Dean Bickman straight away calls a timeout. They're back within 13 points. There's a bit of energy in the building now.
This is what we wanted to see. And it should be closer because they've been really good defensively this third quarter. They just haven't had as many good offensive sets as they needed. But there's the steal on one end. Last break, easy 2 points for Gary Brown. This really should be a single-figure game right now.
Well, we spoke about the arrival of the new import, Abdul Nader. He's down with the Early Meadows.
He is with me as Phoenix try to mount a bit of a comeback here at John Cain Arena. And is it true that you arrived today, but you actually wanted to play tonight? You're that eager to get out there?
Yeah, you know, it's been like almost 2 years since I've been in the game, so I'm ready to play. I'm really excited mentally. I probably needed some rest after a jet lag, so it's a good decision not to, but yeah.
Could we see you on Saturday?
I don't know. It's really up to the team and the medical staff to clear me, but I'm hoping.
You've played more than 200 NBA games, most recently the Phoenix Suns, so you've come from the Phoenix to Phoenix. What can fans expect?
Just I'm going to play with a lot of energy. I'm going to do everything I can to help our team win.
And tell me about the knee. As you say, you've been out for 2 years. Are there any concerns over the body? What goes through your mind?
Not anymore. I've been, the last 5 to 6 months, I've been training and playing at a high level, so I'm ready to go.
Well, I've got to say, the fans are excited to see you in action because we've seen the highlights across the NBA and it's going to be fun this season. It's great to have you on board.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to have a blast.
Played for the Boston Celtics, Oklahoma Thunder, and of course the Phoenix Suns. And we'll see him suit up shortly. Maybe Saturday, maybe not, with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. We're trying to make a run here in the third quarter, although Ian Clark can put a stop to that. And even he can't get it to fall in this third quarter. They're giving Southeast Melbourne a look in. Well, Shea Ellie is doing it at the offensive end.
Yeah, he's had his trouble shooting from outside this year. Has Shea Ellie just 19% from three, but the layup and now the three ball to just kind of settle things ever so slightly for Melbourne United.
Back to 16, two-man game. Air and Creek, and there's Gak to clean it up.
Who just turned to Mitch Creek and said, good pass. Now, there's definitely a miss.
Important final 2 minutes, you think, in this third quarter. They can get it to almost single digits. They'll just hover around that 10-point margin. They'll have some sort of belief. Although Melbourne United are the best fourth quarter team in the competition.
Melbourne United's only got one player who's played over 20 minutes so far. That's Chris Golding with 22. So their starter's going to be fresh.
Here's Krebs getting some minutes. And again, the hook party! All over Mitch Creek.
Oh, my days.
I'm stunned. I'm shocked. That was an unreal finish.
The athleticism. Porty's done that a number of times for his 9 points.
Everyone's in shock here in the stadium. That was almost out of nowhere. The lob looked, a little bit low. He didn't have the right run up, and he just elevated quickly.
Nice finish. Mike Kelly quickly calls a timeout.
Let's have a look at it.
At 13-point margin, back to 18.
Oh, this is just straight nasty. This isn't illegal in some states. Oh. How's the dime from Tanner Krebs, then Hook Porty just flushes it.
That's a big man. Hasn't played as many minutes in recent weeks. He started the season in terrific form. And Early Meadows working hard for us tonight. She's found another superstar, this time a former AFL superstar.
It is Trent Koch, and of course the premiership captain of Richmond, now retired. Trent, you're the #1 ticket holder at Phoenix and trying to get back into this game. But have you liked what you've seen so far this season?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Obviously, there's been some challenges across the year, but I think tonight's a good example of being able to work your way back into the game. Obviously, giving them a head start, especially one of the dominant teams in the comp, is never ideal, but still confident we can get back into it.
It's such a big game to throw down, and obviously you've had your own experiences in massive occasions like this. Do you get the energy when you come in here?
I do definitely get the energy. I know that I'd contribute nothing on the court because my basketball skills are terrible, but it's great to be here. It's a great atmosphere and obviously two great clubs.
You're tough, but you're a little bit short for this game, I must say. I noticed that tonight you didn't have your kids here. Last time they were running an absolute muck, so you decided to leave them at home?
I did. A little bit later, their bedtime passed. They were pretty upset when I was leaving home, but it's a great environment for families and they had a lot of fun when they came.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, Des.
One of the all-time Richmond greats. Doing some work for the Phoenix now is Ben Hare. Thought he was fouled, no call. And nearly looking to push the tempo. Clark
He wanted
made
that
the
one.
three, but stepped out of bounds.
He was close to stepping out of bounds the play before, but he wanted that one because Benny was having a few words to say because he thought he got away with the foul. Shaley knew it too. He was hunting him out, saying, I'm trying to get you one here.
You love that from your point guard, though. Finding the hot player, getting your shooter's shots. Just little pinky that popped on the sideline there. And a really safe Phoenix. Oh! I wasn't sure if everyone else saw that, or if it was just me, but United have wrestled back momentum in this quarter and stretched that lead back out.
Well, it was Shea Early, wasn't it, out of the timeout, but then it's that hook 40 flush, which really did just zap the momentum that they're trying to build.
Here's Brown again. Fake. Knocks down the triple. That's what he can do. Just coming off an equal season high, 12 points in 12 minutes against the Kings.
It's 41.7% from three, and he got off to a slow start shooting. But again, that's a really nice set they ran. A quick look.
And Vegas 4 of 6 against the Kings last week. Continuing on that form. They get back to 15, but Illy, he's been the one to steady United in this third quarter. Couldn't finish. Phoenix with the last possession.
First foul.
It's going to be a foul on the floor. Wasn't shooting.
Wait. 13 on the head. I'm running the same thing. You're 7 seconds, run the exact same thing for Reece Vague. Every time you've got these kind of plays set up, there's always wrinkles as well. So potentially look for that, whether it's a slip out for Alan Williams or someone spotting up. Let's go.
And they finish what's been a positive term with a little bit of momentum. It'll be Gary Brown who gets to the basket and just gives his team a bit of a sniff at three-quarter time. They're at home at John Cain Arena. Their fans get to their feet and they are within touch. They trail Melbourne United by 13 points. Stick with us. Big fourth quarter to come. Southeast Melbourne outscored Melbourne United by 7 points just to give themselves a chance at three-quarter time, and we're excited to welcome Mitsubishi Motors back this season. Fans are also celebrating in stadium with the Mitsubishi Motors 3-point foam hands. A range of prizes up for grabs every week, including the brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. Here with Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hooley. They've just given themselves some sort of outside chance at three-quarter time.
Just a sniff, but as they dodge a bullet there to start missed layup being Clark, but they've given themselves some sniff. Defensively, they've picked it up. Offensively, they've got to start getting things going and making some shots, and they tried that offensive set again to get Vega shot.
Nerily Meadows, you're listening into the Phoenix Huddle, three-quarter time. I'm sure it was a different vibe to quarter time.
Joey, they don't think they're an outside chance. They think they're a red-hot chance. The belief is high after holding United to 11 points in that third quarter. And that is not going to help, though. Mitch Creek was fired up. He was saying, forget the rest of the game. What happens in the next 10 minutes is what matters. Play defense, get a kill to start. That's exactly what they did, but they couldn't capitalise. So it's 64-77 as it stands.
Off their highest scoring first half of the season, Melbourne United, it was their lowest quarter score, 11 points, the lowest in any quarter this season.
This is kind of the death lineup for Melbourne United when you've got Golding, Henny and Clark on the floor together. And
Golding with some razzle-dazzle and then laid it off to Luala Chul. 3-second violation.
they tried to go to, that was the first set they ran to start the game. They had the back door for Ian Clark, and Jay Nico Fernandez was signalling that both feet were just inside the keyways. He was in there for an awfully long time, but again, another stop. Doesn't matter how you do it. Another stop. Continue to get a good look down this end.
Creek checks back into the game. Mike Kelly knows the importance of this little period as Luala Chul again just swats it away from Ben Air. 6 blocks.
This is going to be interesting here.
Get the floor wide. Luala Chul, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 6 blocks.
It's quite a stat line.
There is a stat line.
It's an interesting one, but defensively be dominating around the rim. And what's the record for blocks of the game in a 40-minute era? Because he is everywhere at the moment.
Both the bigs that we highlighted was the matchup we were looking forward to watching have struggled from the field. 4 of 16 for Alan Williams, 3 of 11 for JLA.
Melbourne United looking to find their groove on offense. They go through Golding. He likes the matchup on Alan Williams. Puts on the moves and then draws the foul and the bucket. And that sums up CG 43 season.
You run out of words.
It's speechless. An absolute rainbow. Dancing around. Source gets into his landing space, and that is just... There are very few players in this league, in the world, that can make shots like that, and he does it all the time.
Well, the Harlem Globetrotters, the 2024 World Tour is coming. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters Global Tour as they take to the court with moments of extreme basketball, innovation and unparalleled fan fun. Coming down under to a city near you, so make sure you get your tickets at www.hg2024.nbl.com.au. Can't wait for that.
He's left a couple at the line, though. Yeah, 2 of 5, very uncharacteristic.
As the two superstars work together, and again, the Source just can't get it to fall.
61 on the forearm. Got 2 shots.
Does draw the foul, though. We'll go to the free throw line.
It's good, though. You want them attacking the paint, getting it in the interior. If they can get to the free throw line, that stops the clock, lets them chip away this lead. They've got to start making some free throws, though, tonight.
I've got your answer for you, Rowdy.
Okay, here we go.
Most blocks in the 40-minute era. Mikel Gladness. In the Crocs days, 8 blocks against the Wildcats in just 19 minutes, mind you.
Wow.
Tied with AJ Ogilvy. Also had the 8 blocks, and there's been a few with 7.
Down the second, back to 15 points. I look to run a play for Golding. Why not?
Just hit one.
Yeah, make it 2 in a row.
That's what happens.
Can't keep a good man down. He's now 3 of 6 from long range, up to 15 points.
You talk about very few players who can hit that shot. There's very few players who are just game breakers, who can just break your game open at any point. Chris Golding's one, Bryce Colton's another. Just has that knack of just doing this so often.
Deep check. Oh, I thought he was going to pull up from deep.
Maybe should have. Turnover. Brown was waiting down the other end.
But the degree of difficulty of those shots, it's not like he's taking standstill, feet set threes. He's off the move, off balance, contested. Ruben Turangi did everything he possibly could, rear contest. It's just a few players making special plays.
Just the consistency. We've made 4 or more three-pointers in 12 of his last 13 games. Mind you, he went 1 of 7 in round 1 when these teams met from long range. Since then, he's been so good. There's the seas part for Ben Air, which just allows JLA to come over the top and get number 7.
We just watched it. You could just see it unfolding.
I actually think Luke Travis purposely decided not to go and contest because he knew that JLA was coming. If you watch it again on the... Well, let's start with the Harvey. Let's
take a look at Golding first.
So this is just a really good set from Chris Golding. He just hit one. Doesn't matter how tough it is, he's going to knock it down. But
thanks to Harvey Norman. Bang.
Down the other end, Luke Travers, I'm telling you, he knew that JLA was coming. Oh, could have been awfully close. So that's matched his career high of 7 blocks in a game. Career high came in 2021 against the Phoenix as well. Had 7 blocks.
He motored down the floor then to get that.
I'm telling you, I'm giving Luke Travers credit. I think he knew that it was coming.
And here he is now, down low on Williams. Gets the points and the foul.
Sit down. Oh, sit down. Green, 12, on the 4 up. 2 shots.
LA starting to pick up the business.
Points didn't count.
7 blocks is the most ever by a United player. He's done it twice. Have a guess how many in the 48
in the era is the career high of blocks in the league.
If you had to throw a number out there, ready?
Oh, it'd have to be double figures, wouldn't it?
14.
Jeez.
John Dorge. With a super catch.
John Dorge, 14 blocks.
14 blocks. 41 minutes played, mind you.
Haven't quite done enough South East Melbourne to even into the margin. Got it within 13. Back to 18. I mean, partly due to this man. Again! Dominating both ends of the floor now.
He's been a problem, hasn't he? Because even though he struggled to shoot, inefficient, 5 of 13, he's 10 points. He's got 7 rebounds, 4 on the offensive end. It's the 7 blocks. So he's just controlled that rim down the other end. And to be perfectly honest, you look at Alan Williams, 4 of 16. The ones that JLA hasn't blocked, he's been there to alter it, to make it a higher floater than normal, to make it a tougher shot.
Could we see a triple-double? 10 points. Can he get up to 10 boards, 10 blocks? There's still time. There's Foxwell. Knocks one down from the corner.
There's still plenty of time, but that'd be quite a feat. Triple-double with blocks. I don't know how many times. I don't know if that's been done in the NBL, but that would be
He takes on Gak this time and just muscles his way pretty easily in the end. He's dominating this quarter now. 13 points. To go with his 7 boards, 7 blocks.
Phoenix have to start sending someone else. Make someone else beat you.
This margin back to the halftime margin of 20 points.
And this is what I spoke a little bit about in the 3rd quarter is up until 3/4 time, only one United player had played over 20 minutes, right? So the fatigue started to set in when they were trying to go on that run. Guys like Mitch Creek, Gary Brown, Alan Williams have had to play and log not just heavy minutes, but involved in nearly everything, which we knew while they're undermanned and wait for the reinforcements.
Good defense from Creek. Thinks about it, decides to get it to Gary Brown. He coughs it up, and off they go again, Melbourne United. Wipe the floor. Browdy, can I ask you now, this is so 3 times this season Melbourne United have beaten Phoenix. It's going to be 9 of the last 12. Does it start to become psychological?
He's called it early. You've put a pencil through Phoenix tonight, haven't you?
18 points, 5 minutes to go.
Just busted. Yeah, it a little bit psychological. It's obviously everyone from Phoenix feel like they're not the little brother anymore, but the previous records of the 2 teams say otherwise, and United have dominated throwdowns recently, won important games, and even undermanned, as we saw early in the season, were able to get the win. So another impressive performance.
I'll also ask this. When we have a throwdown coming and everybody has the media and we talk about it and they say, look, it's the next game on our schedule. It's not, though, is it? The throwdown always means more, and it's always spoken about in practice leading up to it.
Yeah, it has to be. You want to be the top show in Melbourne or in the city you're in, and those in-state, in-city rivalries are huge for the game. And Foxwell put his body on the line, but you want to be the top dog. You want to be the main attraction. You want to be the big brother who bullies the little brother. But it's been Melbourne United's show over the last couple of seasons.
And I tell you what, so Chris Golding just checked back into the game. And
one of you guys has to do it.
whether this game's, I don't know if Mike Kelly's trying to have an early shower, but he's getting awfully close. Not happy with that. Thought that was a foul on Hook Porting against Foxwell. But you also don't think that Melbourne United remember last year. I mean, the way they're going, think about where they're going to finish on the ladder. But they missed out on the playing tournament last year by a single bucket. Still got out there Chris Golding right now. Delhi trying to continue to run up this score. 3-point matters, and even though it looks like the way they're playing, it'll be hard to knock them off the top spot.
This loss will mean that South East Melbourne, that's going to be a foul on Mitch Creek. Yeah, it's clearly a push on Bowen. Frustration's got the better of him. They drift back to the pack. Now they're sitting third before tonight, but now they back in that ruck of teams between sort of 4 and 7 on the ladder. Such a tight competition besides Melbourne United.
Yeah, I mean, and Tasmania, to be honest, got to give Tasmania credit because since Will Magnay's come back, I mean, they now look elite on both ends of the floor. We know they were great offensively at the start of the season.
Snooze timeout. Melbourne leading this one comfortably by 21 points. Take a look at the leading scorers for the night. Gary Brown, 22 points, leading everyone on the floor. Ben Eyre, Alan Williams, Mitch Creek also in double figures. And for Melbourne United, been a nice even spread. Chris Golding, Ian Clark with 15, Joe Luala-Chul with 13. And there's Luke Travers, Shaili in double digits, Kyle Bowen and Ariel Porty with a few massive dunks sitting on 9 points. Melbourne by 21 points, just over 4 minutes to go, and you can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season, and it's all free through NBL Plus. NBL Plus powers up your NBL experience with access to in-depth stats, classic NBL moments, partner offers, and much, much more. Sign up for NBL Plus. It's free via the NBL app or on nbl.com.au.
Rowdy, got your answer for you. Never had a triple-double with blocks, so we're not going to see it in NBL history, but there's been 4. Darren Rowe did it twice. And one was the only ever quadruple-double. 25 points, 17 rebounds, 11 assists, 11 blocks for the Super Cats in 1990. How's that for a game?
You're pulling it out everywhere. Who are you texting? Who are you getting?
Just getting a...
You got your sources, but that's an incredible game.
Great help.
Those are video game stats, those, but it'd be very impressive to see in today's game in only the 40 minutes.
Well, 7 blocks is just the way he's done it. It's been very impressive. And go back to your point before the timeout, Joey, about how they just fall back to the pack. It's not the worst thing. It's dangerous when Chris Golding's asking for this to challenge. We're getting a challenge here. This is what we're talking about. They mean every possession. And we're getting a challenge here. But the pack is not going to be in it because a lot of teams keep dropping games to each other, right? I think right now we've seen Melbourne United, the top team in the league, Tasmania number 2, and then everyone else keeps dropping games around each other. So if you're the South East Melbourne Phoenix, you think we bring Nader in, we get everybody starting to roll, we get the roll clarity, get the reinforcements back. We managed to convince Brockhoff to come out of retirement. And then you've just got to make the playing game.
Of course, they're going to have to butter up on Saturday. They head to Gippsland Indoor Sports Stadium to take on Illawarra, South East Melbourne, and then in round 12, they've got a double-header away game. They go to Cairns on Friday the 22nd, and then they head to Tasmania Christmas night. So big 3 games for the South East Melbourne. Of course, Melbourne United play again Saturday here against the Adelaide 36ers, and then they're home again December 23 and Saturday against the Perth Wildcats.
See how Chris Golding thinks he got all ball in that. He was adamant. And he might have a good case. But he's seen the replay up on the big screen. He's saying, I'm good here, this is going to be successful.
So they're still taking a look at this one. The big boys were going at it just before Williams received the ball. Porty and Williams are really throwing their body around. Alan Williams, 4 of 16 from the field tonight.
To be honest, I mean, there's more contact in that, though, isn't it? If there's going to be a foul, like I said, there's been a lot of rebounding fouls tonight, haven't there? It's hard when you've got guys who are just going extra physical at the glass. I mean, Melbourne United is the second best rebounding team in the competition. Alan Williams is averaging nearly 11 rebounds, or he's averaging 11 rebounds a game, so you expect that.
Take a listen to the call.
Coach's challenge is successful. We'll restart the game with the jump ball at centre circle.
2 from 2 for Dean Vickerman. Of course, they came into this round, Melbourne United, #1 defensive rating team in the competition, #2 offensive rating. They're on track to score 100 points for the 4th consecutive game. Got their full roster.
What ball?
Seen it in full effect tonight.
It's a good formula to win games. #1 defensive and 2nd offensive rated team in the league, and it's shown. They've been dominant. They're obviously the benchmark of the NBL right now, and only just getting to full health, which is scary for everyone else.
Porty now gets into double figures.
And to be honest, I still envision some growing pains to happen now that they've got this period of everybody healthy and trying to figure out the roles and what minutes go to what players in the crunch time. What helps sort that out? I mean, I guess it can be both a blessing and a curse, but Dean Vickerman would like to have those real close games down the stretch where he can throw out there the 5 that he thinks is going to get it done in the crunch time. Darren Williams pulls down his 16th rebound of the game. He's fought really hard.
This time, Porty, again with the double-handed block. He likes getting the 2 hands up. As Goulding does the team thing, the unselfish thing, gives it up to Bowen. And that is now the 7th Melbourne United player in double digits.
And Creaky limping to the bench. And Ben Ayres a bit shook up too, but I just saw Creaky limp over to the bench and
go back to the rooms.
Yeah, now going to the back to the physio and the doctor. So
I think that might have happened about 2 minutes ago. Came off after a play and looked really ginger and was holding. Looked like that left leg. I don't know whether he's just tried to play through it. Jay Lay's coming back in. He's after that block record.
Yeah, he heard you talking. He was listening in, obviously, to the call on the bench.
We appreciate that.
We talk about the distribution of minutes, Pete. They've got Melbourne United are going to have 8 players that have played 15 minutes or more, but no one's played more than 27 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really even spread.
Maybe had that luxury tonight. They led from start to finish. It was a 17-point lead at quarter time, extended it to 20 at half time. Phoenix made a little run in that 3rd quarter. Got back within 13. Melbourne winning this 4th quarter. Nearly tried to throw another lob to Porty.
Porty just threw his ankle ever so slightly, but you saw that coming from a mile away. Foxwell just pushing Porty, which, to be honest, is a very smart business decision. When you see that ball go up and you're just caught underneath, just make sure he doesn't catch it. And we're going to see a few minutes here of the Twin Towers.
This is what you're talking about. You want to see some different lineups, and Dean wants to try some things. Obviously, I think he would like to, as a coach, do it during some of the tight games, a little bit more pressure on it, but why not throw the Twin Towers out there, see how they work together, see if this is a lineup that works together, and defensively, that's scary. You got those 2 patrolling the paint with how they defended the rim tonight.
Four of 7 from the free throw line.
And you're right, and this is an opportunity, you're right, for Dean Vickerman to kind of see how it looks, right? I mean, Brad Newley's checked into the game as well, because there's no doubt they would have practiced together on the same team, but you're playing against the team, the opposition is your team, who know your sets and all of that. So what kind of success can these 2 have on the floor, we're about to see in a very small sample.
Porty rips down his 6th rebound of the game. And then he'll get another lob. Not quite on the money from Krebs. Becoming such a weapon, this lob to hook Porty.
Yeah, when did you say the Globetrotters were on? Because I'm seeing highlight plays all over the place.
Here's Bennett. Draws the foul. One who's been in good shooting form, that just hasn't had his best night, just 3 of 12 from the field. Bennett shooting at over 50% coming into this game tonight.
Yeah, but he never stops. He's going to continue to play until the time runs out, and still got plenty of talk left in him at this stage of the game, but he's a fighter. He's going to continue to fight, continue to scrap. That's what's got him here, and he's been playing really, really well. Just an off night for a few of the Phoenix boys tonight.
It was always going to be hard, wasn't it? Man, is Reece Vague. That one's off.
34% from the field, Southeast Melbourne. Melbourne United still going at 56%. At half-time, it was 73% from the field as Brad Newley comes on and calls an offensive foul.
Flynn Cameron into the game as well. How long Finn Dickman wants to ride out with the Twin Towers the entire last couple of minutes.
Here's young Statman. His feet set, couldn't finish, and Brad Newley running the floor. And Luala Chul gets upstairs for points number 14 and 15.
He runs the floor so well.
They all
at this
do.
stage of the game. It's become a track meet at times, how quickly they can get to offense and their size and length and athleticism finishing on the rim. It's just been a feature tonight versus Phoenix.
They bring up 100 points, as we said, for the 4th consecutive game.
Give me a turnover here as Anzac Rossetto is about to check in. But back on Flynn Cameron. So we talked a little bit about his dad, Rowdy. The great Piro Cameron. So that 2002 World Cup All-Tournament team, Piro Cameron was named to that team. Dirk Nowitzki was the MVP of the tournament. Also on it, Yao Ming, Manu Ginobili, and Peja Stojakovic. To be in that company speaks to obviously the legend that he is, but just how good he was in his role. That's an unbelievable list to be part of.
Isn't it? Yeah. You're very happy to hear your name up with those guys, but both teams emptying the benches. Getting some of the young players.
Except for JLA.
Except for JLA, he's obviously after the block, but...
And this youngster, Newley, couldn't finish. Luala Chul helps himself to another couple. Now the leading scorer for Melbourne United, 17 points to go with his 8 rebounds and 7 blocks.
What for? Hit this way.
I knew it was going to be a tough ask for Southeast Melbourne.
Don't go over.
But it was so important they got off on to a strong start, and they just didn't do that in the first couple of minutes. And a lot of easy misses for sure, but it seemed like the adrenaline, they were just so ready to try and come out, make something happen, and they just kept sinking in that first quarter, and things got harder and harder from there. Showed a good fight in the third quarter. But in the end, they were going to run out of gas, and hopefully that injury to Mitch Creek is nothing serious.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is players get through the game unhurt, but too big of a margin to give to United. They're too talented, too deep to give 20 points and try and claw your way back. Phoenix valuing that third quarter, but a little too much of a hill to climb, and United just have the depth. You just see the load of scoring, the sharing of the ball and getting everyone involved, and it's been a treat watching them both offensively and especially defensively.
You kind of think about what could Melbourne's kryptonite be, and I mentioned that it's going to be hard when they're at full strength. If they're playing like this, it's going to be very hard to beat them once, let alone 3 times in the series, right? But the jack jumpers that you talk about mentally and having to psychologically be ready for a battle. They're one team that will be ready for it, and defensively, you think they're one now that Will Magnay is playing well that could match him. I think, again, we haven't seen the best of Sydney, by no means. I'm not going to write them off.
Vague shows his range. So this will see us out, but there's still one more foul. Flynn Cameron. It's been a comprehensive performance by Melbourne United tonight.
Ariel.
Remember, tomorrow night, NBL round 11 continues. The Cairns Taipans taking on the New Zealand Breakers. We are on cyclone alert. Cyclone Jasper up there in Cairns. At the moment, it looks like the game will go ahead. After a tough game last Thursday night, Pete, that you were calling, the game in Cairns.
That was a bit of fun.
Bit of fun.
Something different.
Back there again tomorrow night. Hopefully that cyclone stays away. The time is going to run out. Vague, it's back-to-back triples. Gets it under 30 points. But Melbourne United, off the back of a 35-point win last week, demolish their crosstown rivals by 28 points in Throwdown 23, and they continue to send a shudder through the rest of the competition.
Yeah, just dominant, wasn't it? From the very moment this game tipped off, there's our Foot Locker player of the game, Joe Luala-Chul. We got going late offensively, but 17 points, 8 rebounds, 7 blocks, just controlled the paint. And 7 blocks, he probably altered another 13 shots with his length. He was enormous protecting the rim, and they just flexed a little bit of muscle in this one.
And we've talked about the big man battle, and Joe Luala-Chul got the cookies tonight, and his ability to change shots, as you said, and force Alan Williams into shots that usually we see him make, but force him into a rough night, and that was a big difference to the game.
Big way to kick off round 11. Melbourne United convincing winners, 28 points. Stick with us, other side of this. Neverly Meadows to wrap it all up.
NBL23, a comprehensive win to Melbourne United by 28 points. A lot of it thanks to this man. We spoke about him pre-game. Joe Lual-Lachul was on fire, 17 points, 8 rebounds and 7 blocks, if you don't mind. He was one of 7 players for Melbourne United in double figures tonight. It just speaks to the dominance. 78 to 106 in the end up against the Phoenix to make it 8 wins in the past 10 throwdowns. Narrowly Meadows with you. Pete Hooley alongside me. That man was immense. No wonder he's got the smile and the thumbs up.
Oh, I mean, he was unbelievable. We spoke about the big man battle, but you have a look there. There's 7 blocks. He probably altered another 8 shots. He was just unbelievable down the stretch, and this is what we've come to expect. This was a giant muscle flex from Melbourne United tonight. They put JLA back in with 3 minutes to go. They're sending a statement to the rest of the league that they mean business.
And things go from bad to worse for the Phoenix with Mitch Creek going off with an injury. We see it there. It's a little innocuous. The left leg, he limped off the court and went straight into the rooms. You can see him waving there for the medical staff. They shut the door immediately, which is never a great sign. A quick turnaround to Saturday as well in Gippsland. What do you think?
Well, I think I saw it a couple of minutes before. I think it was a knee knock, and then he just tried to play through it, so that's not ideal. Hopefully it's not too bad as we have a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. And the top 2, no surprise right now. I think they're just a little bit above the rest of the competition, but the good thing is then there's 4 spots up for grabs. You just got to make it to the play-in game. You got to make it to the end, because anything can happen in playoff basketball.
It has been a wonderful season so far, but tonight, the top of the table, Melbourne United stamped their authority on this competition, cementing that spot on top. A 28-point victory over their arch rivals, Phoenix. What will we see in the next few days as this unfolds? Phoenix hoping to bounce back on Saturday. We'll be live with all the action tomorrow. It's a doubleheader. Thanks for your company. Good night.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.